Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue our NFL predictions with the Cleveland Browns. And before I get into this predictions, let me just say rest in peace to the great Jim Brown, one of the greatest football players ever played, and easily the best player in Cleveland Browns history. May he rest in peace. But Cleveland, they did them well that year. They made it to the post. They made it back to the postseason. Their defense turned around. Let you show you that how one coaching change could make an impact on an entire season. Now, when we get to their offense, you're gonna say, how did this team get to the postseason? And their little quarterback situation. Yeah, I know this season for the Browns was a strange one at that. But they do have a head coach of the year in Kevin Stefanski, as he was able to defy the odds. And looking at their schedule, they had a 2-2 start to the season. They started off getting wins over the Cincinnati Bengals. Little did you know, the Browns actually owns Joe Burrow before losing a Monday night thriller over the Pittsburgh Steelers and destroying the Tennessee Titans week 3 before losing to the Ravens at home week 4. And during that week 3 game, Deshaun Watson hurt his shoulder that day, and he had to sit out the next couple of games, which included them getting a statement win over the 49ers. And Deshaun Watson returned to the Cleveland against the Indianapolis Colts for re-aggravating that shoulder again. And the Seattle Seahawks, they lost to them in a heartbreaking fashion. Then they lost to Then they got into a bit of a winning streak, beating the Cardinals, beating the Ravens, which Deshaun Watson was out for the year for good this time. They did avenge their early season loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers with Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback before they had to go back to P.J. Walker against the Denver Broncos, which they lost. But the Rams, they had a savior. Last resort, they got Joe Flacco off the couch to play for them. And that's when the Browns turned things around. Joe Flacco helped get a win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Got them a come from behind win over the Bears. A big win on the road against the Texans. And another big home win over the New York Jets. And sure, they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals. By that time, they were resting starters. 11-6 was their season. And that's how they made the postseason. Sadly, they lost to the Houston Texans. But that was a pretty impressive season, given what little the Browns had to work with on offense. And as for the highlights, beating the 49ers week 6 somehow. Honestly, still don't know how the Browns found a way to beat them. I do want to say a McCaffrey injury for the 49ers did help out, but still a very impressive win for the Browns that week. But forget all that. The Flacco rebirth was the big storyline for the Browns, because he wound up winning Comeback Player of the Year thanks to his 6-game Cinderella run. And he got the Browns back into the postseason. Very, very impressive for the old man. Able to give him a new contract with the Indianapolis Colts too. But we should also talk about the defensive turnaround, because last year they had Joe Woods as their defensive coordinator. He was awful. Then this offseason they added Jim Schwartz. He quickly turned around that entire unit. And that's how Myles Garrett became the defensive player of the year, which I honestly thought was a very close judgment among players. Now for the lowlights, the quarterback injuries. I already mentioned Deshaun Watson. He got hurt his shoulder. He also had I don't know if he had a concussion during that season, but he was. Also, they pretty much won games in spite of him. He's going to be in a do-or-die mode next year. Then we had Nick Chubb's gruesome injury we witnessed in week 2. It was scary because he had a very similar injury almost 10 years ago when he was back in Georgia. I mean, I'm glad he's recovering and he's having a very safe recovery. I hope he, but will he recapture his form? I honestly don't know. And then there's Cinderella magic running out against the Houston Texans. Cause like with all Cinderella teams, the clock always strikes 12. And looking at their acquisitions, if you can't have one Pro Bowl quarterback, why not have two? Because they added both Jameis Winston and Tyler Huntley. And they also acquired Jerry Jeudy from the Cleveland Browns. I mean, from the Denver Broncos to join the Browns. But they did lose Joe Flacco. He's joined the Colts. Nick Harris is gone. Sione Takitaki, he's with the Patriots. And Anthony Walker is also gone. Now, before I get to the draft, the Browns did have a bit of a logo change as they'll be now donning the white face mask from now on. Good call. But yeah, back with their draft, there's not much to say because they didn't have a first round pick. They did draft Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State and a guard from Michigan. How ironic. Jamari Thrash is a wide receiver from Louisville joining the team. But after that, they really decided, you know what, let's continue to build a defense. And that's good to see. So, the Browns, can they repeat their success or continue to fall into the Deshaun Watson cycle of unknown? Let's take a look at their schedule. Alright, Cleveland, let's take a look at your Dallas Cowboys' ever official NFL broadcast game. Against Bill, I have losing on the road that one. Well, week 3, I have them beating the Giants. Then in week 4 against the Raiders, a Raider team that I think is going to be solid, but I gotta give the Raiders the home win. I'm not expecting a lot of scoring in that one. Week 5, we have the Washington Commanders. I gave them a win here. Week's the Eagles. Gonna give them a loss here. So they already got them, already knocked themselves the NFC East part of their schedule out of the way early. Week 7, the Cincinnati Bengals. One thing up, the Bengals always struggle against the Browns for some reason. That's going to be a win. So far, the Browns didn't win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Give them over and to at home, so they're not going to win all of their next 3 home games. And that takes them to the bye week, week 11 bye week over the New Orleans Saints. Actually, get 4-1, but and because I'm going back and forth, I'm going to give the Saints a home win, but I'll be surprised if Cleveland wins. Week 12 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, have them winning that one. Week 10 Broncos, a toss up. That'll give them a loss to on the road on night. In week 14 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, do not see a season sweep of that team. Already gave them a surprise home win over the Kansas City Chiefs, but I think the Bengals will get back at them again in the Ohio. Week 17 have them at Miami Dolphins as they win January and season record at 7-10. And let's be real, most of it stems with my frustrations towards Deshaun Watson. He should be what he is. Hey, that's the Cleveland schedule predictions. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Gamble safe, and I'll see you next time.